Alright, what's up guys? In this video I'm going to pick up some calculus here. This is going to be another integration practice video. This is going to be example number 39 in the integration practice series. So we're asked to integrate e to the x over e to the x plus 1 times e to the x plus 4 with respect to x. So I think the best thing to do here would be to go ahead and kind of expand our denominator. So let's expand our denominator here, which is e to the x plus 1 multiplied by e to the x plus 4. When I say expand, what I really mean is foiling it. So it looks like we'll get e to the 2x plus 5e to the x. And we got a 1 and a 4 on the outside, so this is going to be a plus 4. So now the integral just becomes the integral of e to the x over e to the 2x plus 5 e to the x plus 4 integrated with respect to x. There's just nothing credible that I could see to do at the start without at least expanding it out. I mean, if you could have thought of something to do, share it with me. But now I'm going to do a u substitution. Again, I think the best selection for u here just be e to the x. So we'll get e to the x dx. We'll end up with 1 over e to the x du is equal to dx. Okay. So it looks like what we're going to get is, looks like we're going to get u over e to the 2x plus 5u plus 4. And we'll have du over u. So it looks like we'll just get the integral 1 over e to the 2x plus 5u plus 4 integrated with respect to u. Now we do need x in terms of u. The good news is that u was e to the x, so I just need to square both sides. So this would be u squared is equal to e to the x squared, which gives me u squared is equal to e to the 2x. So we can replace the e to the 2x with the u squared. So this becomes the integral 1 over u squared plus 5u plus 4 integrated with respect to u. So now we can take the partial fraction and go from there. So taking the partial fraction, we could just factor the denominator here. So we need to factor u squared plus 5u plus 4. Well, if we factor that, that'll just be, it can just be u plus 1 multiplied by u plus 4. And you could check me on that, but I'm pretty sure that's it. So we now take the partial fraction. So we got 1 over u plus 1 multiplied by u plus 4. And remember, we need to find a, and we need to find b. So we'll do that. But before we do that, we need to multiply both sides by u plus 1 times u minus, or excuse me, u plus 1 times u plus 4. Which means that we'll get 1 is equal to a multiplied by u plus 4 plus b multiplied by u plus 1. Now we need to find a and b, which are our constants. There's two ways you can do this. You can do it by substituting in values and solving for a and b, or you can equate coefficients and solve the system. There's really no need to do that here. We can easily just substitute in some values. So if we notice that if we want to solve for a, for example, if we let u equal, let's say we let u equal -1. Well, if we stuck in a -1 for every place we saw u, if we go down here, notice that we'll get 1 is equal to a multiplied by -1 plus 4 plus b And know that -1 plus 1 is 0, so I would essentially be multiplying b by 0, which gives me 0, which the b goes away. So I'm just left with 1 is equal to, it's going to be negative, no, I'm sorry, it's going to be positive 3a, excuse me. And if we want to solve for a, then we would divide both sides by 3. And so we would get a is equal to positive 1/3. So that takes care of a. Now we need to solve for b. So we can let u here equal -4. So if we substitute in a -4, we'll get 1 is equal to a. -4 plus 4 is 0. So then we'll have plus b. We'll stick in a -4. And again, a is going to go. So now I'll have 1. And it looks like that's going to be equal to -3b. We divide both sides by -3, and we'll get b is equal to -1/3. So now we have the value of a and b. So now we go back to the integral that we had at the beginning, which was 1 over u squared. What was it? It was 1 over u squared plus 5u plus 4 du. So it went from an integral that we don't know how to integrate to now one that we do know how to integrate. So it's going to be the integral 1/3 over u plus 1 plus -1/3 over u plus 4, all integrated with respect to u. So we know that this gives us 1/3 ln absolute value of u plus 1. This will give us -1/3 ln absolute value of u plus 4 plus c, but we do have to go back to the original substitution at the beginning where u was e to the x, so we'll have to put that back in, and that'll give us our final answer. So we can actually go ahead and just write the final answer down for this whole thing. Kill two birds with one stone. So we're asked to integrate initially e to the x over e to the x plus 1 multiplied by e to the x plus 4 dx. So it looks like our answer is going to be 1/3 ln absolute value e to the x plus 1 minus 1/3 ln absolute value e to the x plus 4, and we need an integration constant because it was an indefinite integral, so we'll have to add a plus c. And that will be your answer. So this one required a little work, but I think we did pretty good on it. So that's your solution. Alright, so just be aware of that. Some integrals will require more than one technique and require a little bit of work. That's just kind of the way integration is, but just stick with the techniques that you've learned and that you know, and go with those. Alright guys, that's going to be it. I will see y'all next time.